Welcome to The Rod and the Staff. I'm Tony Myers. Together, I want us to explore what it means to experience the transforming love and care of Jesus, our Good Shepherd, and then also to consider how we might join him and love and care well for one another. Thank you for being a part of this with me today. So what can you expect to find in this podcast? This is the first. Psalm 100 verse 3 really forms the foundation. It says, "Know that the Lord, he is God. It is he who made us, and we are his. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture." The first thing we see in that verse is that we are to know our shepherd, that we're to know God. We're to know who he is. He is the Lord. He is the one worthy of all worship. He's worthy of all our devotion, of all of our energies. We're to know his design. He made us. He has a purpose for us. He has a reason for us being where we are and experiencing, going through the things that we are going through. And we're to know his care. It says you are his. In other words, you matter. Is there not anything greater that people search for today than to know that they matter? And so we want to find wisdom and comfort in his care, but his design, in his commitment to us. Secondly, we want to invite you to follow Jesus, to follow our shepherd. It says in verse 3 of Psalm 100 that we are led into his pasture. Pasture was the place where shepherds took their sheep to be fed, to find rest. And so all the sheep did was follow. The shepherd did all the work. The shepherd knew where they were going. The shepherd cleared the way. The shepherd protected them on the way there. All the sheep did was follow their shepherd to places, pastures of rest where they could feed, where they could be nourished and be healthy. And then thirdly, we're called to welcome and engage the work of shepherding. We're to shepherd one another. Notice that Psalm 100 verse 3 says that we are his people, that we are the sheep of his pasture. That word there is plural, sheep. We were created for community. The worst place for a sheep to ever be is alone. And so we want to encourage you to engage in this beautiful ministry of shepherding one another. Our Good Shepherd has committed that task, that work, that beautiful labor to us. In Psalm 23 verse 4, David wrote, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. You, my Good Shepherd, are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." And that's where the name of this podcast came from, the rod and the staff. They were the everyday tools of the shepherd. And so as we look at this Psalm 23 together in our first series, it's known as the Shepherd's Psalm. It was written by David. David was perhaps best known as a king, but before he was a king, he was a shepherd. In fact, the first mention of him in the Old Testament tells us that he was a shepherd, tending to the flocks of his father Jesse. And those years of shepherding, those sheep in the wilderness of Judea, they were formative. They were foundational for him. They ended up creating the paradigm and the lens through which David saw all of life, including his leadership as king of Israel. In the sessions ahead, we're going to take a look at the tools of the shepherd, how our Good Shepherd does this work. We're going to look at the relationship between the sheep and the shepherd. Just critical. Shepherds always had a special relationship to their sheep, down to being known by name. We're going to look at the effects of shepherding. What was the impact of a good shepherd on the life of the sheep, of the flock? And then lastly, we're going to look at the provisions, the protections, and the promises that come to us because we have a good shepherd. Again, I'm glad you've come to join us. I look forward to the sessions ahead.